Oh, no. We are. So, okay. So, Norm's struggling with his headphones.
Got a little head, leave me alone.
Hey, that's what she said. I'm cracking open a beer now. We're doing our celebratory beers.
Here.
And the, what's the reason for us even drinking? Drinking and recording.
I gotta work tomorrow, so I'm always drinking.
Yeah, I have to work too, but we went through a little bit of a struggle just to get back at this.
Just a tad.
We died down because everything got upgraded.
Yes.
Laptop,
Right.
microphones, soundboard, cranes.
Yeah.
Okay, shock absorbers. We have
It's a tennis ball. Don't flatter yourself.
we have matching headphones.
We do.
Okay, we have we are set up. Part of the other set of upgrades was to do some of the visual stuff.
Yes.
That we were always talking about, which is to get this podcast live, like stream it live, and then also stream it live video and audio.
Right.
Okay, so we just took time off. A lot of things were happening. Holidays started to kick in. You kind of rolled into school.
Yep.
And, like my excuse was just I kept adding other things.
Right.
So it wasn't. We were going to record once we got the soundboard. Couldn't do that. Had to get different mics.
Right.
And then I believe I actually at that point sent back the soundboard, upgraded it.
Yep.
Because the original one could only run 2 mics. I said, let me do 4 because we're going to be doing like the movie commentaries.
Yeah.
So it was just like, let's just make the investment. Let's just go through everything. And then the learning curve of understanding like what the heck you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
because that's some Star Trek shit over there.
yeah.
I want to push the button.
Yeah. And we should go through alcohol. I'm drinking Hard Cream Ale, Coney Island Brewing Company.
Right.
And this is one of my favorite. It's not really, I guess it's like a beer, but it's more like a malt. I love this. This is so freaking good. And you're drinking the traditional.
I got the old
Head.
Lion's Head going.
Yeah.
I was going to drink the Elf one, but I got to drive after this,
You
so
don't. Yeah.
I can always drink 2 of these, but I can't. I'm not going to waste a $12 beer. That's asinine. And alcohol abuse, which I am totally against.
I'm for alcohol abuse. I'm not
wasting it.
I'm not for abusing others on alcohol.
Well, of course.
But
I
say
don't condone
abuse
it.
the hell. You can maybe even abuse yourself. I don't know.
Hey,
Just don't hurt people.
whatever you're into.
Yeah. So we got there's been a little bit of a gap, and I've watched a ton of movies.
Oh man, there's been so much stuff.
You have.
I actively had a pile since our last recording
Yeah.
going, and the pile got too big for me to keep.
Yeah.
I had to integrate it all into the shelf.
Yeah.
The DVDs
Well,
I bought. I got a new show I'm hooked on. It's already over.
What's the new show?
Stand Against Evil. It was running on IFC. It was
saw that.
kind of like Ash versus.
Right, that's what it looked like.
To an extent, but it's more Hansel and Gretel witch hunters, I guess. Not
Okay.
so much focused on demons.
Yeah.
It's solid. It's more comedy than.
It looked funny.
It's good, dude.
looked funny.
Did you ever watch Scrubs?
Yeah.
Well,
It's
he plays that
Dr.
same
Cox, right?
cynical asshole
Yeah.
that he was. It's such a fit.
He's kind of like that in everything now. But he was, believe it or not, though,
I got a bad feeling about this, Sarge.
he was like that in. Oh, is that the Platoon quote? Yeah.
It is.
I was gonna say he was kind of like that in Platoon. Mm-hmm. Like kind of like a dick, even like when Charlie Sheen's getting helicoptered away and he's like screaming at him and pounding his chest, like. But it's like it's good. Like I guess maybe, you know me with television, I didn't pick up anything. Like I watched Luke Cage.
Righto.
I thought Luke Cage was just fantastic.
It was solid. A little unbalanced for me, but definitely solid.
Yeah, well, most of the Netflix Marvel shows have 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Like there's 2 different waves of storyline. Okay, like Daredevil season 2 was like up to the Punisher and then it was like post Punisher.
Right.
This was like Luke Cage was up to Cottonmouth and then post Cottonmouth. Okay, but I just love how they kind of validated Iron Man 2 with Luke Cage, with the hammer technology,
Right.
Like getting to the streets, and we have we're just going. We gotta put our phones away, but yeah, I just that's a lot, and I just thought that show had a flavor and attitude.
No, it was definitely
Yeah,
like Daredevil season 1 for me, Luke Cage, Daredevil season 2, Jessica Jones.
Yeah, see, I put Jessica Jones at the top. Only for the idea that it really brought a character no one really knew about, cared about. They did things with the character that it's like the first time you saw this character in live action form done a particular way, and everything has that at one point. Like the Ninja Turtles had it at one point. Superman had it at one point. Swamp Thing, like going back to the Swamp Thing TV
Good old
show.
Wes Craven.
Yeah, well, yeah,
The movie.
yeah, the movie.
Wes
Yeah,
Craven.
and it's just kind of like that stuff to me captures more my interest rather than like a really nice Daredevil show. Even though like I think Daredevil is like a masterpiece, it's still kind of seeing something new done for the first time.
No, I feel you, and I definitely loved that they got that original look in there for those couple of seconds.
Yeah.
That like
Yeah.
with the tiara
Yeah,
and the digs.
And he just says how stupid it looks. Yeah, so I just think to me there's a very high level value in seeing that. Like it's like a little bit of the Suicide Squad effect.
Right.
Where it's just like, wow, like they're really doing Deadshot.
Well, that's
Like,
kinda
they're
why-
really doing Flag. They're really doing Katana.
Yeah, that's why Legends season 2 is growing on me.
Okay.
Season 1 was crap.
Yeah, everyone says
It
season
really got
one
better by
barely-
the end, especially with
Yeah.
Captain Cold's like story arc and all. But season 2's just brought in some new characters. They've changed up the roster. It's just
Yeah, I think a lot of times the first season and nowadays the first feature film, the intent is just to grease the gears,
right.
to kind of get momentum, to get a team around that project that is actively thinking about it, actively trying to make solutions for
Where
problems.
do we go from here?
Yeah, like you have to start somewhere, and I think it's a little bit of how like sports fans are spoiled when someone's a rookie and they don't perform at a super high level, and they kind of forget that the adage for like even NFL quarterbacks was like 3 to 4 years of playing. Like you would, like if you had a new quarterback, you might lose for 3 to 4 years before that guy got good. But now like rookies are becoming like now like in our lifetime we'll see a rookie NFL quarterback win the Super Bowl.
Oh, I believe it.
Might be this year with the Cowboys with Dak Prescott. Even though, like I'm pretty sure I'm not 100% if he's, I kind of forget if he's a rookie, but he's a first time starter, which is kind of the same thing.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times people get spoiled by the really good number ones, but like and it's just funny how Civil War and Winter Soldier like validated Captain America, the first Avenger, so much now that people like more and more people are telling me how much they enjoy the first Captain America.
Well, that's what's up.
Okay, and for a while, people would argue Captain America or Thor, which one was worse.
Right.
Okay, like people were putting Iron Man 2 above both of those movies,
And that's a damn shame.
yeah.
Because Thor was great.
Yeah, I just think for, like people are. I guess there's like this conversation: is magic? Does magic exist in the Marvel film universe, or is it just science?
Well, now it kind of does.
Yeah, but at the same time, I just thought magic was always a form of science. Like,
Well, that's how
like,
Thor explains it.
Right. Like to me, and to me, I'm like, well, of course it's magical. There's a rainbow effing bridge. Like, there's literally a rainbow bridge going to your house.
Yeah.
So there's no science about that. It's just, it's a magic idea. You have giant creatures. You have you have all weather like environments.
Yeah.
Like this one's just going to be ice. This one's just going to be this, and that's magic. Like
Pretty much.
Those are the visuals. Like like the Chronicles of Narnia, stuff like that. Like it's always.
Hoth.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
The Force.
So yeah, so at the time of recording this, we are roughly 2 weeks away from
Rogue One.
Rogue One. So where are you with Rogue One?
Current, up to date.
Up to date. Like, are you excited?
I'm so pumped. The way I explained this to Kearns was.
We still have to get Kearns on the show.
Right.
We still have to get.
We have to, but this one has me more excited. A, because there's not really many characters that they can mess with. Like, killing Han Solo still hurts for me. I get why they did it. I don't hate the movie because of it. But this is just like Saving Private Ryan in space. It is a war. It's Star Wars, finally. It's not Star Battle. It's not... It's all out, gung-ho, shit's flying, people are dying.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I mean, did the rebels live? Did the rebels die? Who the hell cares? We don't know. I don't know them. I have no allegiance to these people. Don't talk to me, criminal.
Real quick, too, side note, talking about Han Solo. So, Hunter, the kid that lives across the hall, he doesn't live by himself. He has a family.
Right.
So him and his sister, they come over to feed Dallas.
Okay.
I don't know if we ever talked about Dallas is my cat. Very social animal. They come over to feed him. And Hunter is looking at some of the Star Wars, like my father bought me for Christmas, like one of those Walt Disney box sets.
Right, with BB-8.
Yeah, so I just ripped out like the Kylo Ren, but I kept everyone kind of like in the package. And he's looking at them. And I'm like, I was like, my father bought me those because I just had it lying out. And I said, but, I took out the Kylo Ren one because I think Kylo Ren's cool. And the kid looks at me and he, with a straight face, goes, Kylo Ren betrayed his father. I'm just like, this kid's like 4 or 5 years old, okay? And he, like, understands, like, what some of the context of Star Wars Episode 7 was. So that just cracked me up. So, so getting back to where Rogue One is. So I touched on this before we started recording, that there was like this theory that I was very much responsive to.
Right.
Up until now, anyone that's ever listened to this show knows I reject all of it because everyone's always wrong. It's fun to like go through it though. It's fun to debate. It's fun to even engage in what some of these theories are. But like the reality is, like, Mace Windu is not Snoke.
Right.
We know it.
He's not Finn's father.
Right. It's none of that.
I mean, it would be some shit, and I could cross my fingers, but I wouldn't put money on it.
Yeah. It's also too like I'm a little bit with the idea that not everyone in Star Wars outside Skywalkers are related. Like,
right.
Like you don't have to like keep crossing these threads. Which kind of leads me to I really believe Rey is Han's daughter.
Okay.
Okay, because of the connection with the Falcon, that the Falcon was on her planet. That the guy that had the Falcon is the one that took her in that flashback. The big dude you see is like giant pink arm.
Right.
And that planet, that system, Chewie and Han were close to it. They knew about it. They were like in the area looking for the Falcon. They weren't too far. They just didn't go back to that planet.
Right.
There's a lot of these things, okay? And Han sees things in her that remind him of when he was young, which is why he gives her this, like, offers her the position and stuff like that. It would also explain how she's force sensitive because it will come through like Leia. I think that's clear. Like I could be on the outskirts of just really like thinking that. I don't really know. So this other theory that I keep alluding to, I'll explain why it responds. Because I never really gave much thought to Rogue One within a marketing aspect,
Right.
or within like a marketing framework. So, what if Rogue One is promoting something in Episode 8?
It's very well possible. People think that there's going to be a big Snoke reveal in this one. People think that Jen Erso could be Finn's mom. People think that Jen Erso could meet Luke, and later off screen those two maybe link back up. There's tons and tons.
So Jen is not, because the age doesn't match up.
Fair enough.
Okay, I think they've already put that out there. So, using Rogue One and maybe using these in between movies to set something up, like the Han Solo movie. Like, is that the next one? Is that the one that's going to be between? I
believe so.
8 and 9.
Yeah, because they're writing it now. They just cast Donald Glover as Lando.
So possibly, like, the Han Solo movie could set something up for Episode 9.
Right.
Okay. Now, if that's the trend, like, that's just really cool. It really is. It's geeky, but not too geeky. Like, it's just kind of it's there's enough there to keep your interest.
Right.
Similar to the Marvel method, to where like there's something in every Marvel movie, like nowadays, to kind of go to that bigger picture. It's like another bean that goes into the pot. Okay, so when it comes to Rogue One and Episode 8, you have the Knights of Ren.
Okay.
We know that the Knights of Ren existed before Kylo Ren. Okay. Rogue One, the team gets captured. They get tortured. They become the Knights of Ren. In Episode 8, they'll reveal that those guys, or what you saw in that flashback or flash forward, they'll be revealed as the Rogue One crew. And if you look into the art of Star Wars Force Awakens, the book, they show you like who everyone is. Like they show you like the full design. The designs match up with characteristics of some of the Rogue One characters. Okay? Like there's like a monk, which is like, you know, the
blind guy.
The blind guy. There's one called Heavy. There's like a heavy gunner in Rogue One. Like I don't know like what the names are like of the Rogue One people. There's a sniper, and Rogue One has a sniper. Okay, and then there's like almost like a Mr. Fix-It guy, and there's a Knights of Ren that has like Fix-It pockets and stuff like that. Like it kind of matches up, and there's one for Jen. Yeah. So if that's true,
who's the Mandalorian?
No, there's no Mandalorian.
There is a Mandalorian. Yeah. There is a Knight of Ren wearing Mandalorian armor.
Yeah, that doesn't... You know what? They could be downplaying... I don't think that means anything anymore. I think they like to use the imagery and the symbolism. I know they do some of that in Clone Wars. You watch that.
I watch Rebels. I never watched
Rebels.
Clone Wars.
Okay, or Rebels. Whichever newer one that's out.
Well, the chick that wears it's a Mandalorian. That's
yeah.
why she has the armor.
Exactly, yeah. I think that's more understated. Only because of how much they screwed up in Episode 2. Where the extended universe had two things at one point. They had the future of Skywalker, which was Dark Empire.
Oh, so good.
Heir to the Empire, okay?
Right.
And then you had what they did in some of the comics. The only takeaway from the Marvel comics, which was a little bit of like this origin with the Mandalorians. Now you have Episode 2. Like, so you had all this anticipation.
Right.
You know, and people were expecting some of that to be used. They wanted it. Like, Episode 2 needed it.
Well, maybe we'll get some of it in the movie. Because the cartoons have covered Mandalorian pretty good. But maybe these upcoming movies will go into it. Or the Boba Fett movie.
Yeah. I mean,
if we ever get it.
Yeah, I also think that there's a separation of, like, church and state with the TV show and these newer films.
We shall see.
Yeah, I don't think there's much of it. I don't think like just when it comes to like a production pipeline, that there's that much of a flow with that, because like the transition between Lucas and Disney was in the middle of the show.
Right.
Like, and I almost feel like they would have to start a new series, start a new show, like start over to start rolling it in and start getting the people from the movie offices crossing over. I don't know really like what's
I think
happening.
it has the
Is it vocal?
I think the potential is there. I mean, definitely.
I mean, like Star Wars lends itself more to that than Marvel does.
I will say that there's more potential for some of those Knights of Ren to be some of the people from the current Star Wars cartoon.
Well, because a part of Forrest Whitaker's speech in the first trailer,
who's directly out of the Clone Wars, his character.
Right, and Forrest Whitaker's speech says when you get captured, not if. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like, is he prophesizing that, because like, look, here's the thing. And this is what I mean by marketing. Why would you buy an action figure? Like, just as a kid, just as someone that you just saw the movie. Like, you go to the toy store. You go to a friend's house, and he has toys that you don't. Mm-hmm. Like, why would you be excited over Rogue One figures if they all die? Right?
I mean, we don't know if they do.
Well,
right.
Yeah, but the general assumption is that this is like perfect storm. Like, they're all like they have to get wiped out.
Whoa, hold on 1 second. Was it you and I who was having the discussion about the Botham spies? And if that was Return of the Jedi, who many Botham spies died to get them the new plans for the Death Star, or is that in A New Hope where she says?
No, I'm pretty sure that was Return.
Okay.
Okay. But real quick though, okay. You have this marketing effort behind Rogue One. Mm-hmm. A lot of the effort seems to be Death Troopers, with a little bit of like Darth Vader sprinkled in.
Right.
They're not really pushing like the Rogue One characters and people from the Rebellion, other than the girl. All this other
I've seen
stuff.
Jen. I've seen the blind guy. I only saw one of him though. I should have picked him up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the Han Solo-esque guy, I guess. The one with the mustache.
Right, yeah.
And K2SO.
Right. Yeah, oh yeah, and K2SO is part of that imagery.
Right.
Okay. So I really don't see them like wanting to make moves for merchandising with a team of people that are just going to die. Like, something has to happen to them. Like, something needs to happen. Like, maybe they do live and they show up in episode 8.
Right. Some of them could.
Maybe they become something else.
Maybe Jin's the leader of whatever planet she comes from.
Yeah. But I do think that there's something here to set up episode 8.
Look, the only thing I know for sure, the only spoiler that's 100% is Bail Organa's last scene is his last minutes of life.
Oh, okay. See, I know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to figure he's at that. Like, it's clear that he's at that thing where they have the Death Star plans, and he's on Alderaan when it gets blown up, and this is like directly before. So like, when he leaves that meeting and goes back to Alderaan, he's only got like a day left.
Well, here's a little bit of
poor Jimmy Smith.
Yeah, so I've been kind of updating you a little bit with just because we go back and forth a lot. And It's like, what are you doing? We're always like updating one another. So I've been watching Star Wars 1, 2, and 3 with a girl that's never seen them.
Okay.
And so we're up to episode 4 now. So we just watched that a couple nights ago. We're trying to make our way all the way through 7. And I really don't have them. I'm buying them off Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Like the Prime Instant. When I know she's like coming over, because like, again, I never really cared to own the DVDs after a certain point. And it's fun because I haven't seen them in sequence through someone else's eyes. Okay, which is huge.
You started her at 1.
Started at 1.
See, Rachel had never seen them either. I made
Yeah.
her start at 4.
Okay.
Because I was like, I don't want you to hate Star Wars.
Yeah. So here's a little bit of that. The movies don't work at all, on any level. When you start with 1,
Right.
okay, because there's like callbacks that have no relevance.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know that they're callbacks if you don't know the characters, like Jabba the Hutt.
C-3PO.
Yeah. Okay. Now, just like we'll gloss over that real quick. Okay. Maybe I'll discuss more of that like another time because I think it's worthy of analyzing. We hit episode 4. The first 10 minutes really blew me away. Just over the dialogue, what they're saying. Okay. Not to mention, she at this point, this girl's like, it's beyond her why Vader doesn't recognize R2D2 and C3PO. She doesn't even understand it, and
Exactly.
I'm just like, and I'm almost like, yeah,
that's why I didn't do it that way.
okay. So, but here's the thing. So we all know that beginning, we all know the opening. So when the Star Destroyer locks into the Imperial or to the Rebel blockade runner, when it locks in, and you hear the da-dosh, the goosh, awesome sound. I love those sound effects ever since I was a kid. I don't know why, dude. Like, it's so fucking cool. All right. C-3PO says, there's no escape for the princess this time. So that means that they have a history.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like, they've been on a couple different adventures, couple close calls. Like,
Right.
the princess has been, like the Wile E.
Rebels
Coyote.
covers one of them.
Yeah, okay.
And they also introduce a young Wedge Antilles in an episode.
Okay, yeah. So, here's the thing, though. So, like, Rogue One, like, I guess we know R2-D2's in it because of that car commercial. Like, there's a car commercial that it's a Jeep or maybe a Jeep. But
It's a Nissan Rogue.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I had one of those as an Uber today, too. It's a nice car. Nice
yeah,
car. Yeah.
that's what I got.
Okay. Oh, did you?
I'm Black Leader now.
Black
Rogue
Leader.
One has arrived.
Nice. I love
Hey,
it.
yo.
That's so funny. But yeah, so R2's in the movie. Like, if R2's in the movie, C-3PO has to be in the movie.
At that point, yes.
But at the same time, if they're in the movie, Leia has to be in the movie.
Leia's going to be in the movie. It's going to be digitized, like fucking what they did to make Professor X and Magneto.
Yeah.
I don't know it either.
Yeah.
But I'm going to assume when Bail Organa is at that meeting, if R2 is going to be there, he's going to have his daughter there, and they're going to take separate ships. She's going to have the plans that she inevitably gives to R2. He's going to...
Well, no, because here's the thing. Vader says that the planes were beamed. They were beamed to that ship. They were beamed to the blockade runner.
Okay.
And they followed the transmission.
Okay.
Okay? Which is kind of cool.
But either way, we know Bail isn't there. So they're going to go...
Which is kind of cool because it's like the equivalent of the Empire, like, following an email.
Yeah, pretty
or
much.
like a text message.
We got the data.
Yeah,
It's right
like-
there. It's, I
like-
can almost reach.
like it's just like the funniest thing.
I feel you.
But
Grabbing a brew.
okay, cool. All right.
need anything?
No, I'm good. I'm almost done mine though. You know what? Might as well grab me another one. Grab me another orange cream ale. Norm is rattling around the fridge. Rattling. Rat-tat-tat-tat. Thank you, sir.
You are welcome. This
Yeah.
guy's got summer shandy, and he's holding out on me.
Oh, you can have that. You can
That's
take it.
good.
Oh, no. Someone brought that over. A girl brought that. No, a
Well,
different girl.
she's
Yeah.
going to be beat after
She,
this.
no, yeah, you can have it, but she also brought over. I think we were drinking it before. It was that woodchuck apple cider
Okay.
that tasted like apple pie.
I think Rachel had some
Yeah,
of that.
dude, that is so freaking good. And that summer shandy, that berry one, is so freaking good. Like beer today, or even stuff that's supposed to be like beer, it's becoming Snapple.
Pretty much. For loco.
For Loco, I miss you. So yeah. So anyway, so like maybe we'll down the road we will do more of a Rogue One discussion.
Definitely.
We're mostly, I guess, part of the intent right now. Is
Have
just to-
you,
yeah.
before we totally get off of it, have you seen that weird little Ewok dude manning the gun in the
Yeah,
trail?
he's so
I'm
funny.
so excited to
Yeah,
see that
he's so-
guy.
yeah.
I, for whatever reason, my eyes just focused on him in that trailer, and I was like, I hope he's part of the
Yeah.
crew.
I really like what they're doing with like the other species and the other aliens, because and it's a little bit of similar to what they're doing with the Star Trek movies,
Right.
Where like they're just fun.
Yeah, the technology's there. Let's play it up, guys.
Yeah.
It's not women in green with friggin'
Yeah,
wax antennas anymore.
It's just fun. There's like a payoff when they're on screen, when they interact, and I think people have been yearning for that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one thing that the Star Wars, and I would say even Star Trek, is probably doing right more than like any other franchise, any other like entity, maybe outside Guardians of the Galaxy.
I almost wonder if it's all side effects from Face Off running on sci-fi. Like people just seeing those random alien episodes and saying, "Shit, why aren't we doing this?"
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that. I think there's a little bit more too of like Hollywood always cross-sold the process with the product. They
Right.
always. I remember like waiting waiting up all night when I was younger to watch some of the HBO behind the scenes for movies, and they would only be like 15 minutes long.
Not even. They're like 9.
And they were just running between things, and I
Yep.
would like just wait
Yep.
to watch them, and now, again, I think a lot of people are just spoiled,
Right.
just okay, and these DVDs, like not so much the internet, but what the DVD era did with selling the process, and then like with anything, they almost like burned it to the ground while they were building it up.
Right.
Because everything became a commentary, everything became a behind the scenes and there was too much of it. You didn't catch the good ones.
Right.
You maybe like more bad commentaries than insightful ones. Some of them had multiple I remember like even like I think the Fight Club had 5 or 6 or 4.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I have a couple of my Scream Factories have like
Yeah.
with the cinematographer, with the stars and the actors, with
Yeah.
the stars, the actors, and the
just
director,
too
with the
much.
producer and the director,
Yeah.
with the producer on the producer's cut. It's just like
yeah, too much.
I don't even listen to the regular commentary.
Yeah, it's just too much. It really is. And I just think, yeah, so maybe some of it too was just like this, like appreciation of creation, new ideas, having fun. And nothing really lends itself to that rather than Star Wars and Star Trek.
There are some commentaries that I do want to listen to though.
Oh, some of them I still think the best commentary, okay, the best DVD commentary, number 1, Spawn.
Okay.
Because the guys that made that worked for Lucas.
Okay.
They got kicked out. 'Cause-
They're the guys that broke off into their own branch and
yeah, well, they broke into his office. They tell you the story.
okay.
on the
I think
commentary.
I've heard this story
They-
before.
They break into his office. They start drinking his alcohol.
Okay.
Like his bourbon, his whiskey. I think one of them was like a 200-year-old bottle. And they were just like hamming it up, making fun
of him. And it's
Okay?
recording, right?
It's recorded.
Right.
And
I've
they
heard
kick-
this
yeah,
story. Yep.
And they kick the guys out. That's why the name of the production company is.
It's like Skywalker Rejects or something.
No,
right?
it's banned from the range.
Okay.
Okay, and it's just funny how like those guys still directed Spawn.
Right.
And Spawn was a coveted property. Like Spawn was like a major deal. That was the next Crow, the next Turtles, the next like Spawn was going to be like a Mickey Mouse, like household name. So I don't know. Did the right guys get the project? I don't really know. I really don't care. But it adds value to the movie because the movie now is a testament to these guys, like sticking to their guns, doing things their own way, like having a shot of doing something great, like delivering big.
Right.
Didn't work out that way. But at the same time, it's just like, dude, these guys are in the commentary. They're just like, and they're kind of bussing on the movie too. Like they tell you, like, oh, we had no money for that. Like we had nothing for that. But you're watching it. It's on screen. Like it still got done. It does. I think it does raise the appreciation for Spawn.
Fair enough.
My second favorite one is Armageddon.
I was gonna say that one's up there.
Where Ben Affleck starts making fun of the movie.
Right.
And he's making fun of the movie.
And doesn't like Michael Bay go on like a tirade in that commentary about Ben Affleck?
Yeah, he kind of like it's kind of like a little cannibalistic. But I'll tell you one thing. To me though, it's like that's the nature of the movie though. Like it kind of he's like Ben Affleck is a little bit like AJ. Like he is in the movie, but he's like that during the commentary. It's like the commentary crosses over.
Nice.
Okay. And I'm not really sure like what other ones stuck with me. Like
I want to watch the Goonies one because I just hear crazy things about it. Like it's very clear that no one on the cast really likes Sean Astin because he comes in late to the commentary and the mood changes. And when he leaves early, the mood changes back. And like there's just so like I hear great things about the awkwardness of him being in the room with everybody.
Yeah.
And apparently the same thing happens in the Lord of the Rings too. There's a couple like weird Sean Astin moments. He might be a difficult kind of guy to work with potentially.
Like you know what though? He is a
which I'm not knocking. I'm not knocking at all. Everyone's got their quirks. You're an artiste, if you will, so you can be difficult. Christian Bale still works, and he threatened to like skin a guy's scrotum alive or something. I don't know. But.
Yeah, but you know what? I back that whole like moment for Bale because when people don't realize the real difficulties of acting.
Right. Oh yeah, I don't deny.
Like
you do the same scene 60 times
yeah.
and it's the same redundant. Can you be a little louder? Can you be a little quiet?
Yeah, and
a little more forceful. I need more anger behind like
you and sometimes you work
all right, it's great from camera A. Now we need it from camera B. Reset.
Exactly.
Like
so sometimes you work 12 18-hour days. People don't realize that back in the days of film, and I'm pretty sure, like, just touching on the Christian Bale thing, Terminator Salvation, that was the movie
right.
for that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Mick G shot that movie on 70 millimeter. Like, he shot it on film.
Okay.
Because, and he washed it through silver when they developed it to give it, like, this tinge.
Okay.
Like this, like
the Matrix green that has silver.
Yeah, like it had, like he wanted it to have this, like he had a way of describing it. And so when you're shooting on film, you're subject to what's in the load.
Right.
Sometimes you can only shoot for like 2-3 minutes at a time. And you do that, then they have to reload.
Right.
And then they have to check. They have to check the camera. There's no hairs in the gates. You verify the lighting, you know, like multiple people
film
have light
is
meters.
Expensive,
yeah,
so you have to,
so you're like stop and go. Your job is to be a character. Your job is to sell that character. The only way to sell it is to make it authentic,
right?
Meaning that you have to kind of live it. Yeah, like this is why a lot of actors just lose their marbles because you're in someone else's mind.
Exactly.
Okay.
Constantly.
And again, people want to act like it. Like this is why Hollywood is goofy. This is why it's the type of talent it is. That Christian Bale outburst, like 100% of the time, I'll bet you that he gave that guy a couple passes.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, and fucking snapped.
And he's also playing John Connor, leader of the resistance. So you got to fit like
that was
maybe it wasn't totally off, and he's yelling at one of his soldiers for fucking up. I don't know.
Is how much like when that movie didn't hit? What would you compare that to?
What do you mean?
Like, would you compare it to Batman versus Superman not hitting?
No.
Would you compare it to Matrix Reloaded not hitting?
Maybe.
Okay, even though because Terminator 3 was like didn't have the impact, so
It was still a beloved franchise that had solid entries that like it amped you up and got you excited, and then it just shit the bed.
Yeah,
And it had all this history to play with and to build with. That movie should have honestly just been Genesis, and it's a shame that that one failed.
Well,
I hate that.
Yeah. So, do you have any problems with Genesis?
I actually really liked it.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's like by far great.
I spent
but
about a week not watching it, but having it on and
I could
listening
do
to
1,
it.
2, and 3 like a perfect trilogy where
Yeah.
none of the movies are unbearable like Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean,
3.
like three's great because it commits at the end. Mm-hmm. You know, like
I'll give you that.
like-
It was just such a bitch. But like, all right, you couldn't get Linda Hamilton back, so
Well-
you give her leukemia and kid. Like,
well, it's
come
not,
on.
it's not even. But you know what? Like we're used to characters dying off screen and whatever. At least there was an explanation, whatever. But at the same time, I think the big problem with 3, too much daytime, too much during the day. If you watch Terminator, when things start ramping up, when the action starts happening, like, mostly like, third act,
Right.
nighttime. Terminator 2, nighttime.
Right.
I think you have an ingrained expectation. When Terminator 3 hits, they're doing these really big set pieces in the middle of the movie during the broad daylight. It kind of interrupts like what you're expecting. Okay, because look, at the end of the day, you want new things, but you also want comfort. You want that balance.
Right.
This is why Force Awakens worked. Okay, in my opinion too, like this is why like Independence Day Resurgence worked.
I still have to see that one.
You haven't? Okay,
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
We really should sit down and watch it because watched and listened to that.
Did you get
movie.
around to Doctor Strange yet?
I have not seen Doctor Strange. Yeah, haven't seen.
Excuse me, everybody. I gotta
Well, hey,
throw this hockey puck.
keep and there is a hockey puck on the table.
Yeah, so everybody knows.
Well, keep in mind, if I'm sure you remember, but I was late to Civil War.
Right.
Also,
No, I know. You were supposed to see it with John.
Yeah.
I thought you were seeing
was supposed
Doctor Strange with John. That was your game plan.
Yeah, John sometimes has an erratic schedule when he cancels or indicates that something's not going to happen.
Well, that's what happened with the Rogue One
but
tickets.
wait. Well, here,
Just so you're aware.
Well, here's the thing. I had a chance to see Doctor Strange a couple weeks ago, maybe like 2 weeks ago, and I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you what this is a good story. Good story. So I've been dating this one girl. She's African American. Okay.
Righto.
And we just hang out, drink a lot of whiskey. She's a former bartender, former like fitness trainer, rockin' body, okay, like all around like sexy girl. We just have a great time when we do things, and so like we just go out and like just drink all night, eat all night. Like we'll come back here, she'll spend the night, and the last time we did that, I woke up and I put on Batman vs Superman Extended Edition because she was sleeping, she was knocked out, and I said let me put it on and just start taking some notes because we've been going back and forth about doing like a dedicated segment or podcast or like something to where we go through that movie scene by scene.
Right.
And I still think it's side note, someone just saw it. I've been texting that person back and forth now for like 4 days explaining things.
I believe it.
Like they don't understand like what the Flash was, who he was, how he got into the dream, what the dream was, like all of these things, and I'm just like
Have you watched that with the commentary yet?
No, I don't get DVDs. I only get them off Amazon.
I'll bring you my Blu-ray. You
so-
can check it out.
So a couple of weeks go by. I got busy with work, and her and I were always like touch and go. And she shoots me a message out of nowhere, and she's like, "Hey, do you want to go see Doctor Strange?" And I'm like, "Oh fuck yeah, like let's go." So we pick a Monday. That's the day that she works at a hospital now, or like at front desk.
Okay.
And but she works like 12-hour shifts, like 3 days a week. So she gets off and she's like, I'm off on Monday. And I said, great. So a couple of days go by. Donald Trump wins the election.
Okay.
Okay. Out of nowhere, this girl shoots me it was like 8 o'clock at night. Who did you vote for? And I said, well, I didn't vote because I'm registered in New Jersey. But, I support Trump. Now, this should not be a surprise to her. I have a Donald Trump bookshelf or like book area. And I'm very animated about The Art of the Deal being my one of the first books I ever read when I was in middle school. To like how that book is just filled with great things. Most of his books are. Okay, and I actively read them. I've read 9 of his 16 books.
Okay.
Okay. No surprise. Okay. I don't back everything he said or how he said them. No, I think how he said them. Okay, but whatever. So, I say that to her. I said I support Trump, and she goes, "Well, I'm checking everyone in my phone who they voted for." Okay, and I'm like, "Well, that's that." And then she goes, "Well, I don't know how I feel about that," and that's just where I left it. I'm like, "That's it." Didn't respond. I almost said back to her, when you learn to judge people by their character, let me know. Okay?
I believe it.
Don't she marginalized me.
I
which
feel
is
you.
it's essentially what people think Trump does.
Right.
Which is real hypocrisy. Now, everyone talks about hypocrisy. They point out they use it to validate things. It's different when you see it in your life and it happens. And no skin off my back though.
Right.
Okay. So here, quick little skid side note. 3 girls not cut me off. I just kind of was oh my God, no. Okay. There was another 2 that flipped out. Okay. And so to me, so far, the Trump presidency helped me clear some of my
Crazies out of the
help me clear some of my daily text threads out. Okay. So he immediately started working for me. Okay. But that was my second shot to see Doctor Strange. Now, just to touch on it though, I'm really happy, super excited to what that movie is. It is a landmark movie. People just seem to love it. People who I know don't like superhero movies decided to go see it. They're texting me. They're saying, I saw Doctor Strange, asking me questions. I'm responding. That movie seemed to capture the imagination.
I believe it.
Okay. The opening box office outdid the new Harry Potter.
Okay.
Which, again, fantastic.
Didn't it? It's also the highest grossing first installment of a Marvel movie now too, right?
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah.
So there's something about that.
It's greatness.
Okay. Yeah.
I've never done shrooms in my life. If I ever do them, I'm watching Doctor Strange when I do them because it's gonna be a fun trip.
Yeah. So yeah, and it really ignites someone the magic that is the Marvel movies.
Right.
There is a magic.
There's a whole new layer now.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah.
My favorite thing, and this had me doubting Doctor Strange so hard. Now, I'll be the biggest naysayer of myself right now.
Yeah.
I saw those buildings folding in on themselves, and I was like, ugh,
yeah.
Inception.
We have you here saying that.
Right, exactly. Yeah. This is going to be horseshit redundant. Dude, that is such a small fragment of what is going on. I immediately, I will eat crow on that. That is one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
And it's...
Well, that's a little bit of what I was trying to tell you, that Doctor Strange is so deep and vast.
Right. Well, leading up to the movie, for the past year, I'll say for the past year, I've at least read 3 Doctor Strange, I read Dark Dimensions.
Okay.
The old school one. I read The Oath.
The Oath. That's like the absolute best.
Right. And then I read a crossover with Spider-Man. Where it's like the two of them.
Yeah.
And he has this fun little banter where like fucking Spider-Man says something along the lines of like, the Harry has to go, Arthur, or whatever. And then he's like, would you, and he breaks down like the full spell for it, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's so hardcore. It should be metal lyrics. It really just should be.
There's
the soul-consuming graps of Hogarth the Dark. Like, it's just so out there.
I feel that Doctor Strange is the type of character that can be in everything.
Right.
And he doesn't even need a sequel. Like he
could just fill in.
Yeah, I think he's him as a comic character kind of always worked best that way. This is kind of why he really hasn't had a sustainable solo series in a long time.
Pairs up with people, he helps out here, he jumps in there.
Like he was huge in their Illuminati stuff that they were doing. Like I think the modern Marvel has used him better than ever.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, now he's totally revamped. He's got a battle axe. He can kick ass without Wong kicking ass for him. Like he's more capable now. And a fighter, not just a.
And right now too, they're using him a little bit more as a like dark investigator or dark guy that people go to, like maybe like John Constantine-ish.
I was just gonna say they made him their Constantine.
Yeah,
they redubbed him.
Yeah, what happened? Was that like a TV show?
It was. It's already canceled. Don't get me started. But the guy who
played, was it bad?
I'm one of the reasons it got canceled. I refused to watch it when they got rid of the smoking, and NBC had it on at a shit night at a shit time.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So, you see, I would always be able to watch Grimm, which I still watch, and then me and Rachel would go to the bar because Grimm would end at 10, and Constantine would come on, and we'd be heading out the door. So, like...
Yeah.
But the guy who played him is doing the voice of Constantine in the Justice League Dark animated movie. Okay. Yeah. And he does a guest spot on Arrow where they actually have him smoking the cig and kind of an FU to NBC for saying no.
It's just kind of like they have to.
Because I don't even think he's dying in the NBC. Like his whole thing is like he knows he's condemned, but he has his whole life to make up for it. That's kind of a major part of the character is he's on borrowed time.
Well,
and
I think it's a major part of Wolverine, Ben Grimm, Gambit, smoking. I think it's a part of those characters.
Right. You can't picture Wolverine without a cigar.
Yeah.
It's just
even
kinda...
like Nick Fury. Okay. The white Nick Fury.
Right.
Well, the black one they never really portrayed that way. So the Sam Jackson one. So
but David Hasselhoff's a cigar chomping son of a bitch.
But so it's. I think there's something to that. I don't think people know so much now about smoking. You're not tricking people into smoking. You're not selling it.
Yeah, it's character flaws.
People know the danger of it. But it's just funny. It's like alcohol's okay, but smoking's not.
Right.
They're both destructive. Like they're both evils. Technically, you can argue like a fast food like McDonald's is evil. So when these characters go to McDonald's like places, or they're eating potato chips, okay, like obesity is the worst epidemic. Like that's the real struggle out there.
You let me know when you see Cap using some heroin, and then we'll have a problem.
I just really think it. Like I understand the move,
right?
But at the same time, it's almost like in the Marvel movies, they took away Tony's alcohol, and he has post-traumatic stress syndrome
mixed with extreme OCD.
Right. They made.
I don't like to be handed things.
They made him break mentally almost. Civil War was people knocked the plot point that this woman walks up to Tony Stark and changes his mind so quickly. In that movie, they're like, "Oh, well, he's concerned about this freaking kid," and it's almost but he's a broken character,
right?
Like he is broken.
Well, his whole thing is, I'm not manufacturing weapons. I don't want to take a lot, and he still inevitably through Ultron ended up taking another life.
Yeah,
so
right. I think.
Which that movie's not as bad as everyone says. It's not great.
Oh, what, Age of Ultron?
Yeah, but it's
look, compared to Batman vs Superman,
Oh,
Age of Ultron, Age of Ultron is so much fun to watch.
Never ever again to me compare a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie to a DC extended movie.
Yeah.
No, there's no comparison. DC has dropped the ball. They're doing everything they can to fix it.
So,
but they're just stop trying to play catch up and just sit down and do it right.
Yeah. So Age of Ultron to the side, real quick. So back to my friend text messaging me, Batman. So I tell him like who Darkseid is because I have to.
Right.
I send him pictures. I'm like, this is, and I'm like, it's pronounced SIDE, like because it's spelled SCID. Like so it's like Dark Seed.
Right.
But, yeah. So I'm telling him all this stuff, and he goes, "Oh, okay." Because well, then Darkseid's the villain in Justice League in the next movie, and I'm like, no, it's Steppenwolf.
Right.
And so I sent him a picture of Steppenwolf, and then dude, he immediately fires back because why don't they have Darkseid as the villain? if they're doing a sequence, if they're setting it up, and I just wrote back, I'm like, I don't know, like
because Marvel already did Thanos. We can't follow their formula.
Yeah, I can't even like explain that to him, which is the funniest thing. It was like the funniest exchange.
It's really a shame, especially because Ben Affleck was not a bad Batman, and Henry Cavill is not a bad Superman.
But here's the thing though. That movie
not a fan of Ezra Miller.
Got a couple monologues right with Bruce Wayne.
Right.
Okay. Now, like the
Bruce Wayne. Not to change the subject, but it's still Batman. Have you seen the Cape Crusaders Return?
No, it's. I know you've been excited.
I picked it up.
It was like $10 on Amazon Prime, or it might have been a little bit less on some of their Black Friday sales.
It starts out horrendous. Okay. It's absolute garbage.
Yeah.
But it gets better as it goes to the point where all of the 66 villains pop up, minus Two-Face, who's going to be in the sequel, William Shatner doing the voice.
Okay.
But there's a point in the movie where it's the standard four rogues from the TV show: Penguin, Joker, Riddler, and Catwoman.
Yeah.
And Adam West is kicking her asses because he's kind of gone bad a little bit.
Yeah.
And he hits Joker, and he goes, "You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts."
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
And then he hits Penguin, and he's like, "You don't get it. I'm the surgeon, and this is my opera." Like, they just give him all the iconic lines.
Yeah,
that's funny. It's just great to hear Adam West saying this shit.
That's funny. Yeah. I mean, it's Norm's stepping away real quick. What, you getting another beer?
Yeah, you want one?
No, I'm still working on number 2.
Pussy.
Oh man, language. We should start doing this with a ice cooler next to us.
We should.
So we don't have to get up.
It's all right. I could throw the empties away.
Yeah, as long as part of this is sitting down and having a good time. Norm's also busting bottles. He's cleaning up. He doesn't even do this in his own house. Yeah, so...
Hey, you supply the beer, I could clean up the empties.
Okay, so speaking of DC Extended U, where are you with Suicide Squad Extended Cut?
I was thoroughly excited for it until I've seen all of the... Well, I haven't seen the videos, but I've heard a lot of people talk about A, B, and C is still cut from the movie. Here's all the Joker stuff from the trailer that's not in the extended cut.
Well, yeah,
I just want more Leto. Yeah, I really liked him.
I don't think...
I didn't love him,
yeah,
but I really liked him.
I don't think you're going to get that because it's not the first movie to do that. And, like, I really think it's, like, anally nitpicking.
No, it is, but it's... You know, as long as the DVD comes with deleted scenes with all of the shit,
or it doesn't matter. Like, I don't think that I don't think it even matters because like it's like
I'm gonna pick it up and watch it. I don't hate Suicide Squad. It's the way that I just said Saving Private Ryan is Battlefront or Rogue One in space. Suicide Squad is a comic book expendable. It's Expendables with superheroes. Like, straight up,
it's really the Dirty Dozen.
Like a crap action movie that you just go into it for the... I'm going to drink some beers and watch this
here's the thing. So when it comes to that extended cut, I think one of, like, when people really started to drill into what they thought some of these like motivations were of the Joker versus Harley, when he tells her, you know, when he asks her, like, you know, like, would you live for me?
Right.
She says yes, and then she jumps into the vat of Axis chemicals. Okay, and he walks away. Okay, he walks away, turns around and jumps
Dives in.
Okay, so that scene now is more impactful. It's actually like a legitimate moment of the Joker. It's like is his most emotional moment.
Have you seen the extended cut?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got it digital.
Yeah, I have it
Okay.
here. Yeah.
Right
It came out like a week before
I've been
DVD. Yeah.
I've been debating getting the Steelbook from Best Buy because it looks
He
great.
loves Steelbooks. Just buy it.
Dude, they totally fuck me though, because
What?
now they're charging me $32
What?
because it's a 4K Steelbook instead of a Blu-ray that
yeah.
comes with the Blu-ray and the DVD and
Yeah.
a digital
So-
copy.
yeah.
But there's no just Blu-ray.
Did you look for
Steelbook
that at
it.
all on Black Friday?
It wasn't out yet. That's coming out like this week on DVD.
Yeah. See, that's why I just like getting things digital. I've had that literally for a month, and I'm so surprised. I feel bad.
DC always does it. Marvel never does, and it's
Yeah.
because DC needs to recoup that much. So
They
I
do.
can wait.
Yeah,
like I can wait.
So here's the thing. So a lot of commentators really knocked that scene because like it really didn't fit. Like the Joker walking away, jumping back in, didn't have volume, didn't have like
Right.
body to it.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. So you know about the scene with Harley on like the motorcycle, okay? Like that was some in the trailers where she like holds a gun to the Joker.
right.
Okay. So that scene like builds up the Joker.
Okay.
Okay, because you just really see that he owns her. Mm-hmm. He's dismissive of her. You don't see like in the animated series there was like this pleasure that the Joker got with Harley.
Right.
There was a power. Okay. So you don't really see so much of the pleasure, but you see like the power that the Joker has. Okay. He has like a couple good lines.
Okay.
Okay, in that scene, comparable to like Heath Ledger defining his Joker as like chaos. This Joker, the Suicide Squad Joker, defines himself as an idea. He's an idea. You can't fall in love with an idea. You can't love an idea. And Harley Quinn's like, you know, a gun doesn't scare you, but your heart does. Okay, so then I think a couple things happen. It goes back to like another flashback.
Okay.
Because like when they're marching through the city, it triggers Harley's flashbacks, and Harley, at that point with this cut of the movie, you see like her love for him, like with the timing of those flashbacks,
Right.
to where she's risking her life, she's endangering herself, shit's happening around her, like it's getting serious. She can't stop rehashing him.
Okay.
She is like almost like calling him. It's very well done. Okay, so we go back to that scene now. Okay, Harley is in the chemicals. She falls into the Axis chemicals. Joker's walking back, and he stops, pauses. Right, I think he takes his jacket off and jumps in. So at that point, this is what I mean about like the only true emotional moment that the Joker's ever had on film. He, at that point, he has fallen for her. He has fallen in love with Harley. That moment is when he falls in love. He now enters into the chemical acid with her. He baptizes himself as he's baptizing her. They're baptized together. But he makes that turn because at that point, he knows like the solution, like he knows the answer.
Right.
You don't get that without the scene where she holds a gun to his head.
Okay. So going from there,
Yeah.
two things. With the Harley Quinn movie being announced and confirmed moving forward with Margot Robbie, do we A, think that there's a chance that Jared Leto's Joker is going to come back for that? Or do we B, think that Jared Leto could come back for Batman solo movie? Or do we think he shit-talked himself out of the role and they're going to bury him?
No, he has got to be in everything.
I hope so, because I really did enjoy it. I like Jared. When I heard he got the role, I was excited.
Yeah.
Because he's just a great actor. He's a great musician. He's a talented guy.
Yeah.
So I knew he...
Yeah, it's not even that, too. He actually has a Joker look. And Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger.
He had the smile. Jack had the smile. He had the attitude.
Well, Jack had it, but at the same time, it's like, even still, when that was announced, no one...
Never rub another man's rhubarb.
Yeah. No one was sold on Jack Nicholson being the Joker. They were like, what the F is this? Like, what? No, it's not like... But at the same time, though, it was so new. So it was like, whatever.
Right.
By the time Heath Ledger came around, people were like, WTF? Like, what is this?
I was one of them.
Okay.
Blah, 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 blah. 10 things I hate about you.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Knight's Tale. Yeah. But
Rick von Lichtenstein.
But Jared, like, fit. He visually fit in my eyes. Like,
I can see that.
It was an easy pick. It was a slam dunk. I think what they did with him, like what they let him do, it's just awesome.
Do they cover Harley Quinn having a tattoo parlor in the extended cut?
No.
Damn.
No.
Damn it.
Yeah. But look, I don't know. Like, you can't have, like, everything.
No, I feel
like you can't, cause
no, I know.
Like,
I know.
I just watched
that might have been too close to the Expendables, in all honesty, because Mickey Rourke has the tattoo parlor.
Yeah, it explains how all those guys have crazy tattoos. But it's kind of like...
because they're fucking expensive.
Yeah, it's kind of like... There's only a few movies, in my eyes, that work longer. Like that it works when they've added the new material. Okay?
I want to see The Martian extended cut.
I have yet to see that. I'm kind of don't like Matt Damon anymore. I'm so sick of him.
I'm not a big fan of him either, but The Martian was a really good movie.
Yeah, he's just kind of like, he said so many stupid things. I just can't deal with it. Like, I can barely deal with Ben Affleck, honestly. I barely can deal with that. Like, I would have been fine if Batman vs Superman, like, really tanked and, like, they were done with him.
I was hoping for the longest time.
If George Clooney them, I was fine with that. But at the same time, though, I did think he was a good choice. But I haven't seen The Martian. Like, maybe The Martian sells, but that was Ridley Scott, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so another Ridley Scott movie, Kingdom of Heaven.
Okay.
With
I'm not a fan. With Orlando Bloom.
Okay. Yeah, so the director's cut of that is one of the best.
Okay.
Okay.
Did Ridley Scott do the King Arthur with Clive Owen?
No, that was Anthony Fuqua, I believe.
Oh, Anton
Fuqua from Training Day. I almost wanted to say
Antoine Fuqua. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. You have the Aliens extended cut, which at that point favors the arguments against Aliens versus Predator about the incubation period, because it actually speeds up the incubation period. If you watch the timeline when Newt's parents get infected,
and then the whole colony's gone.
Yeah. It's like you're almost like, oh, okay, AVP kind of had it right. Now, that also makes Alien the only exception, like where there's an extended period of time before the gestation.
Have you been following the Covenant stuff?
Saw a couple set photos. The teaser poster I thought was, it was good. It was great.
So you haven't been following the story
The one that says Ron. No, I just like that Danny McBride's in it.
Yeah. This is his first dramatic role. He's openly said, like, this is my first role playing.
I don't care.
I'm excited.
He needs to be.
So you haven't been following the story stuff?
Yeah, I don't know anything.
Do you want to know shit? Because I've been following.
Yeah,
closely.
Well, real quick. So the other movie that I wanted to get to that works longer is Return of the King, Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
The 4.5-hour long one.
Yeah, I have all the original 4-disc, 12-hour.
Yeah. Right. The Return of the King works so freaking well because a lot of the stuff that was left out is really like like the Witch King.
Let me
fighting
just
Gandalf.
Start by saying I've never seen the theatrical for that because I never saw those in theaters. Yeah. I only got those 4-disc extended editions, so I couldn't tell you like that's the one that I've seen.
Yeah,
like
the Return of the King might have been the last midnight show that really I thought mattered, because it was a 3-year anticipation to see that movie. Like everything was building Lord of the Rings for 3 straight years. And just knowing that it was like it was longer than the other two to begin with, and like kind of what the story was and what they were, like if you were familiar with the books.
I feel it that makes sense for me. It was Harry Potter.
Yeah, there was a lot there. Yeah.
While it wasn't the length, like that was the most.
But real quick, are you caught up with Hunger Games?
Oh yes.
Okay, I think Hunger Games, like the Mockingjay 1 and 2, are like awesome.
See, I don't really like Mockingjay 1. I love Catching Fire in the first one. Yeah, those last two just
Mockingjay. Like my only problem with Mockingjay is I know it's faithful to the book, is that she gets away with killing. Like what she does at the end, that she kind of like goes off and somewhat tries to have a normal life. Like at that point, like society has like crumbled. Like she's just openly assassinated someone. I just the way how the movie plays it out, I didn't buy that she would just be able to walk and be let go. Like it's almost like it makes no freaking sense.
I feel you.
But up until that point though, it's a legitimate the whole, like, if you go back and watch those movies with it being like a little bit of a Tom and Jerry like cat and mouse game with her and Snow. Like when Snow sees the assassination and he lets out that laugh, like that relief, like to where like he was right the entire time.
Right.
Like Snow was right the entire time. And you're always just, I'm like, dude, they fucking, like, they really should have changed some of that ending. Like, I even feel like by the end of the Harry Potter movies, they should have maybe had different deaths. Just to give the audience something new. I feel like with Return of the King, like, they should have had different deaths at the end of that movie.
The problem with Harry Potter, it's not that they should have had different deaths. It's that the last movie should have actually shown the deaths. Like, you took all this time to make the movies more and more...
I agree with that.
Like, more and more mature.
Right.
And when it's time for the wall to crash down on Fred or George and crush them, you don't do it. When it's time for Remus and Tonks to get cornered together and literally die holding hands, you take that away. Yeah, like, they don't even cover Teddy, their son.
Right, so it's kind of
like Harry 2.0.
Yeah, so
in essence.
So it's kind of like what I remember in that it kind of cuts to the scene where like they have the triage, and you see like there's people injured and or dead, and that's how they sold that in the final Harry Potter. Oh, what's that?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What was
Krampus in the corner exists? I slept on the market. Rachel just let me know. Sorry. I came up with an idea for a Krampus doll with a book. Krampus on the couch. Someone just beat me to it.
Yeah.
And now I must have Krampus in the corner.
You snooze, you lose. Krampus in the corner is better than Krampus on the couch.
Well, fuck you, sir. I didn't have that much time to think of it.
It's better. It's better.
Look, what do you want?
How'd she find that? What was that from?
I don't know. She just said, your mailbox is full because she couldn't leave me a voicemail. And then she said...
Why is your mailbox full?
Because I haven't set up my new phone. I got a new phone in case you didn't see it.
I know. You showed me like weeks ago.
All right. Well, no one calls me. I talk to you, Kearns, and Rachel. That's it.
Apparently,
Unless
if
some
it's
listeners
full.
want to come and hang out with me
Yeah.
at the bar, that would be awesome. Nah, and then she said, I just wanted to let you know there is already a Krampus in the corner.
Or at least she's looking out for you.
Pretty much. I mean, she might be doing some online Christmas shopping for me, which would be nice.
Yes.
But we'll get to that later.
What is on your Christmas list?
I'll send you an Amazon. As far as that collectible thing
Oh,
goes,
answer that. I was curious. I was asking a few people.
I've had such a hard time really thinking about it.
To bring everyone up to speed, I sent a lot of my friends a random text message asking them, how did I phrase it? What's the one collectible?
What's the one collectible you've always wanted or you've never been able to get?
Yeah,
or
never been able to probably mostly afford. That's
pretty
what I was
much.
getting
Like,
to.
what's the one thing I can buy for you that you're not going to buy for yourself? Is how I read it.
Well, I think other people. Well, it was. I was curious about that for.
Well, I thought you were Amazon Christmas shopping at that moment.
Well, for different people for different reasons.
Fair enough.
I put that question out, and the reasons are vast.
Dude, there's so all right.
So what's the
Do we want to talk shit that Norm can't afford that could be
well,
collectible,
I'm not
or
talking about Amazing Fantasy 15, like the first appearance of Spider-Man. Like I'm not talking.
Oh, yeah, no.
I'm not talking about
No,
that. I'm
my
talking
mind-
about
my mind immediately goes to the complete series DVD for Batman 66 because that's the only way you're getting commentaries is complete Blu-ray or DVD.
Okay.
My mind goes to Jared Leto sideshow Joker Batman because that just blew me the fuck away.
Oh, okay.
There's just so fucking Green Arrow, Kevin Smith Omnibus, the fucking $100 hardback.
yeah.
It just pulls me so many
it's just kind of but there's I get that. See, I guess a little bit too. I was usually for me, the only things I buy anymore are and you know some of this and you see some of it are really I'm not really interested in collectibles.
Right.
What I have is just leftover, or not sold on eBay.
Right.
There's some things I held on to for sentimental value, and I'm talking all single digit stuff. It's not. It's and so the things I buy now are things that I view are meaningful. For example, I got a Bill Goldberg football rookie football card,
Okay.
but it's when he was in college
Right.
with the Georgia Bulldogs. And this was a part of a set that they kind of sold locally to, I think, raise money for the local hospital. And it's not even a legit football card. You barely have him post. It's they took a picture of him on the field in the 3-point stance.
I got you.
And
off to the side,
yeah,
weird
it's
angle.
really weird. I'll show it to you. Okay.
I think I've seen it. It's over there, right?
Yeah. So I bought that because I like a lot of the wrestlers that started in pro sports, because to me it says you can do two things. You can do two things at a really high level.
Right.
I just got the Brian Pillman one. He's deceased. Brian Pillman was huge in the Attitude Era, and he was a linebacker for the Canadian Football League.
Speaking
So I
of
just got his rookie card. I'm very happy about that.
Speaking of things that we're begin to collect, I just want to thank you. I had to spend $7 on one of those Garbage Pail Kid mystery goddamn boxes.
Which one did you get?
I got the fucking zombie dude.
Oh, but isn't that
Dude, they were
perfect for you?
Look, out of 12 on the back,
Yeah.
I got one of the 6 that I was like, fuck that guy.
Oh, but I told you to get the heavier one. The
no,
zombies.
I had to Amazon it, dude. I called.
you
I called
Amazoned it.
Tunes. I called Hot Topic. I called Barnes and anywhere on my phone
just
that
like
said
that you're calling
Walmart,
people.
fucking
Yeah.
Walmart, everywhere. Hey, do you guys have the mystery boxes for Funko? Fucking pink box Garbage Pail Kids? No. Okay. Hey, do you guys have? No. Okay.
Wow.
Fucking
I like
4
it that you
GameStops I
called
called. I did because
how
I
come-
didn't want to go. I wanted to feel the boxes.
Yeah. How come you didn't go to Walgreens?
I didn't know what. I haven't seen them in Walmart. I was
haven't seen
calling.
them?
I saw
'Cause
them in Walmart.
They still have 2. The one down here off of Broad. They still have 2 of them
Legit, all I want is Clark Kent, who was in the movie. They had to rename him because of Superman issues.
Is that the fat kid, right?
That's the one with the superhero cape and the GP on his chest.
Though, right?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Acne all over.
Like fat kid,
Alligator.
Yeah,
I
know. You said you want
TV Stevie is at the top of my list.
They're all heavy ones so far.
I see. Yeah, exactly.
They're all heavy ones. See, so
and then there were two I would settle for. If it was like Max was one of them.
Okay.
The dude that you got over there.
He cracks me up.
And then I forget the last.
So,
Adam Bomb was the 6 out of the.
Dude, I got Adam Bomb because he was the heaviest of the remaining 3 that they had.
I believe it. And over there, he's the biggest out of all of them.
Yeah, he's so.
But I mainly wanted the ones from. Oh, it was the chick with the snot. Because I think she's in the movie and she's just renamed too.
Like, she has and she has
Grossy Gurry.
She has like a blue dress, and I think the card has her in the yellow dress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But in the movie, she's in a blue dress too.
Okay.
But she does everything with the finger in the nose and the nasty fucking. But like seeing that just triggered like. Yeah. I made my mom rent that movie 200 fucking times. Yeah. Like, I want the ones from the movie.
Okay, so this is a little bit what I was getting at. So I know you said like the Kevin Smith, the Kevin Smith book and the TV series. But don't you think like an original set of Garbage Pail Kids is more meaningful to like you and a little bit of like your history and things that were impactful to you?
See, that would be cool. But the problem with a set like that is at the end of the day, each one's just going to get stuck in a graphic novel, and that's going to be my bookmark.
Oh, no,
for that
no.
Graphic.
That set's like a $700 set.
I believe it. And I would keep them nice by keeping them in the middle of my Watchmen book where it can't get better fucked up.
Those cards are in snap cases. All of them, like they're like that's it. Like you don't fuck
you
with
frame them.
Well, it's like in a way, yeah. Okay,
I got you.
But see, like I guess that's was a little bit of the side idea that made me like trigger those like text messages. Like like I was kind of just like digging because like I was curious with a few different people to if they were a little bit like me, because like what I want collectible wise are things that I really view are that's meaningful to me. They're like almost like extensions of my beliefs and methodology and stuff like that. So like going back to like some of those football cards, being able to do 2 things great is like a very big concept with me. Because I think we live in a world where like you have to do more than 2 things great. I think the previous generation was okay with you being great at one thing, and now you have to be exceptional across the board. And like just seeing some of those guys perform at a high level as a pro athlete, and then come many of them becoming some of the top talents wrestling's ever seen. I'm like like that's kind of like really cool. And now some of them too are they're commentators, they're podcasters. Like like I have Chris Jericho's father's rookie card.
Okay.
Because it's like part legacy too. And I'm like, I was like, that's so freaking cool. His father played pro hockey and he played hockey, but he's Chris Jericho. He's an author. He's a podcaster. He has Fozzy. He performs in the band, and he is like becoming a commentator within wrestling. Well,
I miss the Bacon Brothers at Union Transit. The band just. You talking about him being in a band just snapped that off.
Yeah. So like, and to me, like two of the things that are somewhat like that I would spend money for is Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. He played football for the Miami Hurricanes.
Okay.
The Miami Hurricanes had 2 runs of national championships that are like kind of like unprecedented in college athletics. In overall sports. So he was a part of this one team. Yeah. And he was part of this one team. And essentially, they made like college football rookie cards through Bumblebee Tuna.
Okay.
Now, on his team, there was also a guy called Ray Lewis, 2-time Super Bowl winner, and Warren Sapp, 1-time Super Bowl winner.
Righto.
So that was the team. And
The Rock actually played with...
Yes.
No shit.
Right, that's-
Warren Sapp and Ray Lewis.
Yeah, so like that's
no shit.
That's what I mean about like see your reaction. So
Wow.
like imagine like his high
Well,
level.
they're like old heads, so they would have had to be like close to retiring. He'd have to be like close to college.
they're all within like the same age.
No shit.
Yeah, right. But look what pro sports does to people.
Yeah.
As opposed to like the path
God
that The
damn.
Rock took. Yeah. So at that point, these cards were a part of a single sheet. Like you got them rolled,
Okay.
and you had to tear them off. They had perforated edges. So some sheets are still out there, okay, and some people snapped off the cards, and you can get the cards individually.
Right.
The Rock one is like probably like $200 to $300.
Okay.
Okay, but like that was one of the things that like would be on my list. So I was just kind of poking, but I was also like not really fishing for like present ideas, but like the timing seemed right though.
I feel you.
And I was like, well, maybe if I do get a couple good ideas, but I'm not even like, to be honest, I'm not even sure I'm doing gifts this year.
All right.
Like
I will be right back.
Oh yeah, you gotta go. Norm's gotta go. I will pause. I think we're gonna pause. And we took a little break there.
Yeah. Had to relieve ourselves. Take a
Finished
little-
some alcohol. Had
Yeah.
an in-depth life conversation. Norm smoked a cigarette.
Gotta chew people out sometimes. What you want?
Well, I know we were chewing. Just trying to discussing or making things better, right?
It's all about the content for you guys.
Yes, and life's passions confuses that sometimes. Look, one of my things, I say this a lot. Your mind, like what you want internally, is bad stuff. Like it's almost like when you listen to yourself, it's bad stuff. Like you crave McDonald's, bad stuff. Eat chicken, eat kale. Okay, and me talking here, I eat chicken, kale, rice for most of my meals every single day. Okay, but your mind will tell you it's going to take too long to read that book. Don't buy that book. I don't know if there's any statistic out there. I don't think it could ever be, but I'll guarantee that most books, bought through Barnes and Noble, are unread. Most books downloaded for the Kindle are unread. And actually, Kindle could give you those statistics because they actually know how much time you spent on the page.
Okay.
Okay? But they'll never, you'll never find that out. Okay? But the mind will tell you, like, oh, that's a lot of work. You really shouldn't do that. Your mind will even tell you that, hey, maybe you should get some sleep. Maybe you should do this. Maybe, do this. The more you tell yourself no, the more you're going to grow, the more of a powerhouse you're going to develop yourself into. I wholeheartedly agree to that. Okay, anyone that knows me, and this is me just talking from experience, knows that I believe in building things, and there's a lot that goes into it sometimes. It's never easy. It's never simple. Even us sitting here to record this is a big feat. Mm-hmm. It's a feat in just managing our schedules.
Yep.
Okay, and that's why we had a gap. But at the same time, it's about delivering a product. And I think that's a little bit what we were discussing. We were kind of discussing having a love for the content and Rogue One and Doctor Strange and all these awesome things and the history of everything. And then it's like producing a show, making a show. Like there's a weird middle in there somewhere. Okay? Because at the same time, like your passion brings you to this door. Like you walk through the door, but then all of a sudden it changes.
Right.
Okay. Like a lot of athletes talk about, like you stop becoming an athlete when you accept a paycheck. You become something else. Like if you want to be a pure athlete, you stay in college and play college ball. Once you hit the pros, you cease to become an athlete because it's a different apparatus. I think there's a little bit of that. But one of the reasons why I'm so animated on doing this well and staying on top of it is because I know a lot of people like 5 of them right now, like off the top of my head, that have all started this, like went down this road, and they all gave up one by one.
Right.
Okay, and you know, I think we are at 6 recorded episodes, 6 or 7. You know, with the one special edition, we might have some numbering issues in the beginning, because I believe our Suicide Squad episode was like a special edition, because it was like somewhat themed.
You named it something smacked ass.
Yeah, like I'm going to redo that before we resubmit to iTunes.
Okay.
So it's just gonna be like straight numbering, but at the same point though, it's kind of like you, like, you know, we want to make this good, but we don't want it to take away from like other things we're pursuing, like, you know, like staying on top of a TV show. You know, like even with me, you know, like I backtrack a lot. I read, you know, like I read a lot of things around movies that I grew up loving, as opposed to delving into the newer stuff. You know, like I always want to know new things about Armageddon.
Right.
Just like I'm so obsessed with that movie. The more I know, like just the happier, the giddier I get. I think it's awesome having really high facts about, like high level facts around the movie that, you know, a lot of people think is horrible. But at the same time, it's like, wow, man, like so much good work went into that movie. And I think when we were leaving, we went outside for a little bit. Like you did touch on something that I think is the evolution of what we're doing, which is it's a blowback. I think we're in the blowback phase of the negativity that's out there. Okay, we're going to our next episode, and this is the first time we're promoting a themed episode.
This is true.
It's going to be Ghostbusters.
Right. The new one.
The new one.
The female-led 2015,
Yeah.
16.
And not to go into like the background of like how we're going to do the themed episode and the preparation we're going to do for it, but essentially, you know, it's going to be a discussion on the movie, honestly, without these pre-structured talking points.
Right.
And a lot of these pre-structured talking points, has already labeled the movie.
Right.
Okay.
We're coming into it like we woke up tomorrow and there is a brand new Ghostbuster movie sitting on the shelf at Walmart.
Yeah.
And we bought it to watch it.
Yeah. And you know what, too? Like maybe even approaching it to the point of this is our first Ghostbusters movie
Yeah.
to watch. Okay.
That's a good point.
All right. Like very similar to how I'm re-experiencing the Star Wars movies now, starting with Episode 1.
Right.
You know, because a lot's happened. Like there's things that I just didn't remember. Okay. And you kind of like mash things together sometimes. You're like you remember the flow of a movie differently.
Right.
I think that's the only way to understand the flow of a movie is to repeatedly watch it. Watch it and listen to it. You know, when I was younger, I remember seeing an interview with Gene Roddenberry, and one of his suggestions for writing dialogue was to turn your back to the television and just listen. Like, you know, like don't watch, but like listen to the TV. And so when I was younger, like I made audio cassettes of a lot of my favorite movies and would go up to my room. And in my room at the time, I had no TV. I only had like a boombox, a mattress, and a drawing table. Like, you know, like that was the only stuff I was interested in. And had drawings from the floor to ceiling. Like just, again, like some of it was like more training. Some of it was like ideas for comic books and stuff like that. And yeah, and I spent a long time just listening to things, you know, and it's a practice I still do today to where I'm interested in like kind of the connections I make while I'm like focused on something else and I have it running in the background. And you do make connections. Like you understand things about the plot and what the flow is and what some of the disconnects are. Like, and I think that's the biggest thing. Like you actually spot some of the holes, and they become more apparent to you when you when you go through an experience like that. Okay, and sometimes like even too like you're visualizing the movie even differently than what you know is like on screen. So I think we're gonna do some of that with Ghostbusters.
Sounds
like
good.
we're going to kind of really go into it and analyze it on a fresh level, because a lot of these YouTubers, fellow podcasters, and anyone that reviewed the movie, some people rip the movie apart to promote themselves,
Right.
you know, clickbait, all that stuff.
People were ripping it apart before it even came out.
Yeah, like they were really against it. I think we were a little bit too, right? Like, you know,
To an extent.
like if you go back and listen, but at the same time, this could be a birth of a new trend here, which is it's okay to love something that isn't perfect.
Right.
There's only a few movies that I would like. Have you ever seen a perfect movie? Like, what are some of the movies you think that you would say are perfect?
You know, the sad thing is everything pops up into my mind that's on like IMDb's top 10.
Yeah.
Godfather 2, like
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Alien.
People put that. Yeah.
I honestly can't think of a perfect movie.
I'll tell you one of mine. Okay, and of course I should have one because I asked the question, right? And I know I'm putting you on the spot. Maybe again, topic for another session. Big.
Okay.
Tom Hanks.
Okay.
That movie to me is so lean. It doesn't have hardly any fat. Nothing but nuance. Nothing's explained. Like things just kind of happen. Like even like at the end when she's accepting that he's going to grow up, like get younger, and their grown-up lives are going to dissolve. Like even him asking her like, "Hey, you can come back with me," and she's like, I don't want to do high school again. And you're just like, damn. Like, what was high school like for you? Like, you're just like, to me, it's such a perfect movie to me. Like, there's very little, like, I watched that movie and I'm almost like, how did they make this? Like, how did someone write this? How did, like, you're talking like these actors aren't changing things, or are they not? Like, what that's something. Like, you can have all the commentary on that movie. Okay. I would also say The Exorcist.
Okay.
I just feel like for like what that movie does, like for what it does and what like it's so common now. It's a possession movie, but for at that time and what it does and where it was during its release, meaning like what the societal trends were, which is like Hollywood was obsessed with satanic rituals or whatever. Who knows? They could have been, really doing that shit. It's just perfect because it's so much more. It's so much more other than like the demon stuff. Like now everything's always the demon.
Right.
This movie is about like people.
It's about the faith. It's about the characters, the story, all that stuff. I mean, if I had to pick one off the top of my head, just rattling it off, I'd have to almost say Dawn of the Dead, 1976.
Yeah.
It's got the strong social commentary. It's got a great cast. Yeah. It drops you right in the middle of the story. You don't need the background behind it.
Yeah, but here's my one question about that movie. Look, I remember, I think I spent $45 when that first got released, like its first like real like I don't know how available it was before. One time you couldn't find it.
Okay.
And it came back out and it was like a double VHS.
Okay.
And it was like $45, $55 at Suncoast. Okay, because it was still Dawn of the Dead. It wasn't their marquee movie. Now it's kind of like at the top of the shelf. But even back then, like there was a barrier to entry for that movie, and I couldn't wait. Like took it home, watched it. Like was like, man, like and I was disappointed that Night of the Living Dead wasn't like Dawn of the Dead, even though like I understood how good of a movie that was.
The tension built in Dawn of the first time I ever saw Dawn of the Dead, I started it at 3:30 in the morning over my summer break.
Yeah.
I literally ended that movie as dawn was arising.
Yeah, that's all.
I
Yeah.
sat at the edge of my bed from the gas station scene until the very friggin' end when Ken's running up the ladder to decide what's going on.
So quick side note. Where are you with Day of the Dead?
As 10 years ago, I hated it.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of grown on me a bit.
The older I got, the more that movie resonated with me.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's exact. Yep.
Okay. And I think it says something about that. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, you got to figure he had like 10 years between that.
He did. Yeah.
So it was him aging as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I do think there was like something to the point of that is what led to Walking Dead.
Oh yeah.
Like it was Day of the Dead, wasn't Dawn. You know, to where this environment, this situation corrupts. Mm-hmm. You know, like it kills. I get that, but it really corrupts the mind. It corrupts the person.
The people become the villains.
Yeah,
not the zombies.
But getting back to Dawn of the Dead. So, but my only one piece of that movie that's misplaced are the bikers. Right? Like they we can kind of cut them out of the movie.
No, not at all.
You don't think
they're the climax? They're the whole climax. Without the bikers, the movie ends.
Yeah, but
when they've cleared the mall and barricaded everything and they're safe, it's over.
But like,
that's it.
But aren't they doing like weird? Isn't the one guy like taking his blood pressure?
Yeah, he's a dumbass. He's taking his blood and he gets
like,
ripped apart.
What is that?
You see the way I think of it, like it's like they've lived in quote unquote the Walking Dead universe so long that they know the zombies aren't the threat, and they figure there's only a couple people holding up. But then all the shit hits, and now next thing you know, all your friends are gone, and you still have your arm in the blood pressure machine, and you're getting your fucking
I was still
hot dogs
with that remake. I the entire time I thought that they were going to update the biker scene in some like insane fashion, and it like kind of
never
didn't happen. Yeah,
they just take the guy from Modern Family and make him a big asshole.
Yeah, I just thought like that was like the missed opportunity with that movie. Was that, and it didn't have to be a biker gang. It could have been like another faction, but represents this like a warring faction, or just even like chaos beyond everything. But anyway, so what we'll do is we'll sign off.
Right out.
Because we're doing, like, quick side note, we're approaching these a little bit differently now. Like, where they're a little bit less structured. We just want to sit down and have a good time, and I'm interested in the type of product that creates. And I think this is our best episode yet. It's also our longest. It's running like an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, I know. We started at like 8.
Yeah, but but no, it's good. But we're also getting back at it.
Right.
So we're both going to freshen ourselves up on Ghostbusters. Mm-hmm. And we're going to sit down. We're going to discuss it. And over here, I'm looking at, we got a couple of cases of Ecto Cooler.
Hey, yo.
And we have some juice boxes, Ecto Cooler. And we'll probably be drinking Ecto and vodka.
Sounds good.
Okay. And we're going to do this on a weeknight, right?
Yeah. We might have to reschedule then if we're adding vodka into it.
I just want to drink the vodka, though.
Well, you drink the vodka, I'll drink the Ecto.
I have Tito's vodka here, too.
I'll bring a 6-pack and I'll drink some Ecto. Tuesday it is, folks.
Yeah, anyway. Well, you can't say then. Tuesday. We're going to be recording.
Look, we're going to record Tuesday. Whenever you guys get it's when you guys get it.
But we're going to do this. We're going to sign off Dream Warriors, right?
Dream Warriors.
I know. I love that theme music so much. Yeah. And we're going to rock and roll. All right.
Sounds good.
We got stuff to do.
Amen. I got to get up for work in the morning.
Goodbye.
Late.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Night.
See you later.
Hey, yeah.